Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is October 31st. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. And this morning we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see Alaska, British Columbia, Washington, Oregon. And as you can see, we got a system on its way. And then we've got multiple systems behind that one as well. Atmospheric rivers coming into the Pacific Northwest. Impressive precipitation totals. We'll also take a look at some wind potential with some of these systems as well. No big windstorm showing up just yet, but that can change quickly. So we're just watching things as we go over the next 10-day period or so. So let's jump into things here. And you can see some fog across some of the Willamette Valley here, the Puget Sound. It was kind of foggy at my house this morning. Eastern Washington, Oregon, some of the lower elevations in the valley areas of BC, Montana, Idaho, Panhandle. You can also see some of the snow on the GOES 18 satellite imagery across some of the higher terrain of Montana, Idaho, some of the Cascades there as well. Nice. This is the view from my house this morning here. Check it out. You can see that layer of fog. There's Mount Rainier off in the distance, the Cascade Mountain Range. So a pretty spectacular view this morning. Got the drone out there and took some images. SeaTac would be off to the left of this image there. Taking a look at the high pressure degrading the air quality through Wednesday. And if we talked about this a little bit yesterday as well, and this will be clearing up. The good news is on that front that over the next few days, of course, we get these systems in here and we'll start to stir up this air mass a bit here. This Arctic air, cold, dense air, high pressure, not a good combination for degrading the air quality out there, especially if you got, people using wood burning stoves and whatnot as well to keep warm. The Halloween outlook, check it out. This is Medford, Oregon, southwest Oregon, west of the Cascades, and even covers east of the Cascades. You can see nice, comfortable temperatures generally across much of the area there. This is for Seattle, a high mid to upper 50s today, and of course, it'll be cooling down by the time the sun goes down and the trick-or-treaters are out, but still not too bad. A little bit chillier here east of the Cascades, Spokane. You can see Pullman, upper 30s there, Moses Lake, Omak, Wenatchee, a little bit warmer at 41 there. And just a reminder, clear those drains. We got a lot of precip incoming here over the next couple of weeks. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you skip one of these drains, sometimes you can get pretty big torrents of water running into people's homes or multiple homes across some of the region there. So heads up for that. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station to watch all this crazy weather and these storms that are going to be rolling in here through the next few months, check out the link below. Save 10% off. Highly recommend that weather station. NAM 3KM, high resolution model. So we're going to look at the timing of the next precipitation incoming there. And you can clearly see it as we go on towards about midnight tonight. And you can see it approaching the coastline as we go through tomorrow morning. And at some point tomorrow afternoon or evening, it starts to spread over some of western Oregon, Washington, Vancouver Island. And it continues on in there through Thursday morning, as you can see, all the way in through Thursday afternoon before it finally starts to taper off here. Some pretty impressive amounts coming up with this system. Some of the lower elevations, maybe even getting up over an inch as well. And of course, higher amounts across the higher terrain. We'll look at those details in a moment. This is the European, and this is last night's run. This is 18,000 feet. You can see the troughing, the return of the systems out over the Pacific Ocean here, ridging still over the area that will be on the wane. It'll be moving off to the east here, and then you can clearly see we're going to have some atmospheric river potential here. We're bringing some big rains into the Pacific Northwest as we go through this week in towards the weekend, and that's where this model run ends there. But yeah, nice trough carved out pretty close to the west coast here. This is looking at mean sea level pressure, and this is yesterday afternoon's European model run here. So the initial system here, blustery conditions with this. You might get you'll notice some gusty winds out there, but nothing too crazy. No major windstorm by any means. The first system. Stronger storm comes in next, again with another atmospheric river associated with it. Pretty strong low moving towards Vancouver Island. Got to watch this one for some gusty winds, especially across some of the coastal areas as well. You can see that dive into Vancouver Island there. And we continue on a bit further, and you can see additional systems potentially headed towards the west coast as we go on in through the 10-day plus period here as well. So pretty active period coming up here, folks. This is 24-hour precipitation. So this is running totals here on the European as of yesterday afternoon. Put it in motion. You can see it piling up across Portland and Seattle as we go through tomorrow at coastal ranges as well. And we're going to Thursday morning, some big totals along the Olympic Mountains there up towards Vancouver Island, the Cascades. And again, we're running 24-hour total here, so let's go ahead and see what the next systems bring in there. As you can see in the next atmospheric river, taking target here at western Washington, western Oregon, then eventually spreading some precip up across British Columbia as well. So yeah, very active pattern here coming for the Pacific Northwest. A lot of precipitation incoming here, folks. This is definitely going to help out with the drought across the region. This is cool. You can see some gusts up into the 40s here as we go through Thursday morning, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and some bigger solutions still showing up here. but nothing too crazy unless, I mean, we'll continue to watch these individual systems because once you start getting gusts over 50 miles per hour early in the season, especially, you can start to do some tree damage out there. And this is Tillamook. You can see some gusty condition, but still some disagreement with the ensembles on just how strong these winds are going to be. But you can kind of see the intermixing of some bigger windstorms in here as well as the control run here as of yesterday afternoon had some pretty big gusts coming up as we go on into Friday night into Saturday morning. Now, this is Tillamook as well on the most recent 06Z here. And again, you can kind of see where these two systems are coming in as we go Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then we start rolling another one in here on Saturday morning. Seattle, Tacoma, just some blustery conditions right now with the first two systems. But you got to watch this closely because you see a few ensembles still with 40 plus mile per hour gusts here. And that can do some local tree damage as well. This is Stampede Pass, a little bit different view of the European ensemble runs here also. And you can see some gusty conditions up across some of the mountain areas. Nothing extreme as of right now in Seattle. I thought I'd show you this other view of things here, but we'll skip by that pretty quickly. Seattle International Airport, check it out. 1.5 inches of rain on last night's European run on the 24-hour period as we go on in through the day Thursday. And then you can see the next system lining us up here as we go towards the weekend here. So a couple juicy systems incoming. And you can see the average high this time of year for Seattle, Tacoma, about 54. And you can see it trailing off as we go through the mid portion of November, start getting down towards the 50-degree range. And you can see our overnight chilly lows are going to be a distant memory as we go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you can see the above average conditions, kind of warm, breezy, and yeah, definitely wet. Taking a look at Spokane, the overnight lows, again, similar pattern there as we start to bring these westerlies and these systems off the Pacific Ocean into the area, above average conditions. And then Brookings, Oregon, check it out. These overnight lows, you're almost 10 degrees above average here as you go through Friday, Saturday. Nice, warm, wet, and windy down there. And you can see the average high for this time of year, just about 59 degrees, trailing off as we go through mid-November. Also, Portland, chilly overnight lows will be a distant memory as well by the time we get towards the end of this week. Kamloops, interior of British Columbia, you can see a little bit of a warm-up here, and you see the average low temperatures for this time of year trailing off, as well as the high temperatures. This is Whistler as well. You can see the freezing line there, so you may be getting some snow coming in here in the next couple of weeks also for Whistler. The ski and snowboard lovers up there will like that. And taking a look here at the total snow ratio in Kuchera on the GFS as of this morning. So the better shot here is across British Columbia here as we go through Friday morning. And then as we go through Saturday morning, some additional amounts. So we start to get a little bit of chance for some Cascade snowfall as we go on through the day Saturday and some of the higher terrain of Idaho, Yellowstone out there, Montana. And as we go through the next couple of weeks, some of these systems could come in a little bit further south. So we could have some snow potential across some of the Cascades of Washington, Oregon, and scrolling way off into fantasy land of the GFS here. It brings a nice snowstorm down to some of the Sierra Nevada there as well. So yeah, it's that time of year where you can start building up a little bit of mountain snowpack. This is European ensemble mean. This is the average of all 50 ensemble members here. And I wanted to point this out just to kind of show you the atmospheric rivers and the precipitation amounts rolling in here with the next few systems. As you can clearly see the bullseye about the Bay Area north through British Columbia. Some huge amounts showing up even in the ensemble mean. I mean, check that out. Some places along the coastal areas, Vancouver Island, Olympic Mountains, Oregon coast. I mean, you're talking about over a foot locally for some areas there. So pretty intense November parade of storms incoming for the Pacific Northwest. Now looking at the deterministic run. So this is just the model run based on the initial conditions best we understand them. Let's let that play out. And you can clearly see atmospheric rivers barreling into the area. Next system as we roll through Friday night into Saturday is targeting the Pacific Northwest. Pretty classic November storm train setup going in here as we go through the 10-day period, ending on what about Friday? Actually, November 9th. That will be Thursday. But yeah, interesting signal there. You can see some of the localized totals up over a foot, and that's just water equivalent. Total precipitation on the European. This is hot off the presses. The 12Z run is ready to go. So let's put it into motion, and you can see pretty much in good agreement with the European. Not quite as high with some of the amounts here, but as you scroll off into the 10-plus day period, you can still see some pretty locally heavy amounts all the way from Central California all the way up through British Columbia here. And you can see some of the rain shadowing effects across eastern Washington and eastern British Columbia here also. 6 to 10 day precipitation or temperature outlook outlook here. This goes through November 9th and above average. Of course, bringing the southwest flow here in warmer, wetter systems, and precipitation, of course, above average. Should be no surprise there. This is the risk of heavy precipitation. We've been watching this daily. It's almost time to take this map off just because we can see the systems rolling in here. We don't need this to tell us anymore, but they still do call for that slight chance of high winds here. Some of these systems, they can develop late and we can get kind of surprised by these. But if watching this channel here, you're going to have a couple days heads up on any kind of dynamic wind system that will come into the Pacific Northwest. So just stick with me here and we'll figure this out as we go through the next few days. No huge major region-wide windstorms showing up just yet, but that could still change. So anyway, yeah, channel's doing great. California channel's doing well. Also, if you have any concerns down there, go ahead and check that one out. California Weather Watch. I know I still get a comment or two at times asking why I stopped the California videos, but it's got its own page now. So if you want to check that out, click like and subscribe over there. Yeah, I'll probably do a live stream here over the next day or two as well. We'll see how the models come in today. Hope you guys are having a good Halloween out there. Don't eat too much candy, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.